this work? Says something is happening anyway. I don't know if I'm live or anything. I don't know. It says I'm live. But I can't see any reaction here. Oh, finally. Something is happening on my screen. Will this work, or is it just a mega long delay? Okay, something is there. Reaction here, and finally, yay! Many viewers is happening on my screen. See, right? Or they can do this work, or is it just a mega long delay? So something is there. Maybe it was an echo there, and finally, but yay! Many viewers happening on my screen. See, right? Or they can do this work, or is it just a mega long delay? I guess I need to. Sound is quiet. Why? So something is there. Maybe it was an echo there, and finally, but yay! Many viewers happening on my screen. See, right? Or quiet or nothing. Or is it just a mega long delay? I guess I need to. Sound is quiet. Why? So something is there. Maybe it was an echo there, and finally, but yay! Many viewers happening on my screen. See, right? Or quiet or nothing. Or is it just a mega long delay? I guess I need to. Maybe sound I haven't quiet. Streamed in years. Something is there. Maybe it was an echo there, and finally, but yay! Bear with me. See, right? Or quiet or nothing. Or is it just a mega long delay? I guess I need to. Maybe sound I haven't quiet. Streamed in years. It didn't work. Something is there. Maybe it was an echo there, and finally, but yay! Bear with me. This is good. Quiet or nothing. Or is it just a mega long delay? I guess I need to. Maybe sound I haven't quiet. Streamed in years. It didn't work. Something is there. Maybe it was an echo there, and finally, but yay! Bear with me. This is good. Quiet or nothing. Or is it just a mega long delay? I guess I need to. Okay, turn off that volume. This is good. So so I put the volume 300%, then maybe better, and well, I think I've managed the echo now, right? So just start doing this shit. Much better. Okay, some random soldering and nothing else but that. And also testing my new camera with a very professional mount right now with the cable ties, etc. And of course, I will need to have something to drink while I'm doing this work, because you can't solder without beer. Especially when this board is designed by retard. That's why I need one. Okay, put that on the side, and let's discuss what this is. 4060 put it there so I can see better. 060 card for the 4000 and 3000 machines. I just want to have walk around through this card, something first before we build this. Most of the stuff is, the small stuff is on the back side as usual, because then we can have it pre-assembled, and cheaper to pre-assemble just one side than two sides. So some level shifters and buffers for the ID, and the volt regulator for the FPGA, and some places for the extra 128 megabyte RAM there. And on this one we have the first 128 megabyte RAM there. We can actually populate with either 128 or 256. We never tested 64 etc. if it works, don't care. ID controller and a header for a Raspberry Pi, that for the moment at least is only for flashing the firmware. It's not required for running the board. Anyway, when we got this board, the LC PCB always put an extra rail here, so we have to pry them off. Just do like this. This is for the pre-assembling of the passives. So not needed anymore. We just, they made a cut on the PCB, so it just band off. So like that. Drink mixers or whatever, or just throw away. So first I do the picky stuff here, and I will do like this. Put my microscope. See if this works. You can still see the board here while I'm doing microscopy stuff. And I just have to adjust the camera so there, sharp. And as I have actually the exact amount of resistors needed, I take a new pair of tweezers here, so the risk of me flipping away this 22 ohms resistors is less obvious. So when I do several boards like this, I do a series, so I just do one component on each board and press it on, and then do the next component. And so first I put on the some resistors for the clock. What I do is put some flux on. Put on like this, and just prepare one pad each like this. Just doing like this, you get a tempo, so you can build several boards faster, because you have a habit of doing just that work moment. I should put on my fume extractor, but then I think it makes too much noise, and the audio was not optimal right now, so much time involved you hooked on. I'm not kidding. This have been an interesting project. Turbo5 can agree with that one. And there's a quite delay, so you maybe write something and I will respond long time afterwards. Anyway, 22 ohm resistors for the clocks, and hopefully I will not flip anyone, because then one board cannot be really built. Those are 0603s, so not the largest resistors on earth. But there are smaller, and I actually in my next project will most likely use 0603 as well. Okay, sorry, maybe it's hard to see as usual when I do this soldering what's visible on screen and not. Interesting is that even my OBS is delayed. It's like demo scene of it. Everything is delayed. Terrify, you need to do that video about how the process of building this one have been and why it's been so much crazy delays of this project. Most likely because of that sucker there, CPLD. Maybe I should have this one pre-assembled on top as well. I will try to have it in center better. Why? There's a simple reason why we're not using an FPGA for the 060s. We wanted it real. So that's why there are no good FPGA substitute for the 060 yet. The 080 is not an alternative for me, as it's a mock-up. It's not my thing. If you use an emulator, use a Raspberry Pi, PiStorm or something like that, much better. We want the real stuff. This is why this is done. So if you want to have emulation, there are alternatives. You are free to use them. So yes, the CPUs are expensive. This hobby is expensive, simple put. Where do you get to see 060 for a decent price? So you don't, simple, you don't. Like 340, 370 euros for a Rev 6. That's a fact. The Chinese knows the value, and the price has gone up. and it's actually not even near decent prices. So if you want the real stuff, you have to pay up. Sure, you can use LC if you don't use FPU. It works fine most of the times, and there are even FPU emulator that are decent. If you are happy with the O30 with FPU, then an LC with the FPU emulation is a very good alternative that are fast. I myself only use the RC version with FPU. Both RC and LC works on this card. EC boots, but I do not think it's actually supported on the 4000 3000 architecture, as I think that Zorro needs DNA MMU for 040 up and up to handle some stuff. So I'm not sure. We do not support the EC. But if you want to use it, you're free to do so, but on your own risk. Okay. We have now assembled the resistors because I just exactly all of my 22. I didn't flip any one of them. Perfect. And compare the same actually. I have a warp 1260, my 1200 behind me here, and I'll say it's the same, except that they can do 105 megahertz and we can still just do 101 megahertz, but that might change. So next step anyway is to put the CPLDs. These CPLDs are a quite simple one. I doubt it could even emulate a 060 or something like that, but it's not used for that one. It's just used as a larger form of CPLD. Can do more stuff later. 102 meters. Ooh. Okay, so what I do is my camera is screwed up, or what's that? My microscope camera? What's with it? I think I will turn it off and on again and see if it works better. It's really lagging. I don't know if this is annoying. Properties. Like that. Okay. So, have you tried turning it off and on again, and then it works? Okay, what I do when soldering the CPLD, etc., I put flux in one corner here, solder on one pad, and in the exact opposite I do the same. And align the chip on all corners so you can see that it's aligned decently, and then I solder on that pin, go here and sure that it's fine. Solder that pin, and where I haven't soldered, I solder there and there. So I put, okay, you cannot really see there what I'm doing. Okay, I mistake the wrong card here. So okay, like this. I'll try to keep it the interesting part on screen. Not too much solder on the tip, and drag like this. So, one corner. And like that. Maybe put some extra. I'm using leaded solder and 0.3 millimeter thick wire, especially for delicate bits like this. But the CPLD is quite quick to solder, or FPJ in this case. But Steven, you should do a video about all the problems, but that's for later. Maybe scripted or something like that, because it's been really interesting show. I mean, this is the 5th revision of the board. Average spin of revision costs about 250 euros or something, or pounds even. So it have costed some money to have this shipped out. So if people thinks it's expensive, yeah, we want to cope with some of the losses or expenses. Okay, like this, and so. That camera doesn't really like this one, right? This is bad. Should go to Linux on this machine as well, maybe. And because it hangs. Is it Cyber Vision compatible? Well, if I can answer that one, how a graphics card should be an issue, I don't know, but should be. Cyber Vision is a graphics card. I mean, it should work. It's a graphics card. We haven't been able to test all cards. We have some, so people can try. So we hope we can find something. I mean, should I just dump the microscope camera, because it seems to be just screwing around with me. it's really crap. This is because I swapped over to USB capture instead of HDMI capture from the camera. Apparently it doesn't work good. Yeah, we have tested most with the ZZ9000 card. But I tested with the audio card and everything, and it works perfect. Network. And well, it's been working perfectly for me. And I think fastlane card. So Windows PC cannot handle too many USB devices at the same time that are using high speed, apparently. Even if it's connected by USB 3. The microphone, the top camera here, and the Microsoft camera are on a single own dedicated Solo 3 USB 3 card. We haven't been able to test that one. It's impossible to test every card because it's too expensive to have one. We hope that people will test. And report. Most of all, report. Because that's a thing many are quite lazy to do. Report issues. Instead they go on forums and say this and this doesn't work. And doesn't report it. And then nags about it's not being fixed because no one told it's an issue. And yeah, okay, you will not see so much on the normal camera when I'm doing this SMD stuff. I'm just dragging along and talking anyway. I can restart this camera, but apparently it screws up anyway. We tested on the set that on the 3000 plus, and if you notice at the revision demo party, I took a 5K run, and this was because I told TerraFire that if you do make the TF4060 boot from 3000 internal SCSI before revision, I do the 5K run. It wasn't working at that point, and then just days after it working, so I pretty sure he already had it working, waiting for me to do something like that. But that was the reason why I did the 5K run at revision. This card is a reason. So 3 GPLDs done. I'm happy that this microscope is analog, so I don't have to bother with that weird digital delay and crashing actually. Yeah, the 4000 tower is unhappy. I got mine, my quite dead 4000 tower to kinda boot on with 030, So we have replicated this issue on my machine, and I will send that port to TurboFire so you can watch it. But that machine is not stable. So that's why I couldn't use it, because I didn't think it would even start. It had been in my drawer here for years. I have a case that are really beaten up in the addict. I got it for a trade-off to a 3660 card once a long time ago. Oh, Clementino, you're Croatian. Yes, I'm grounded. I have an extra strap on my wrist, and yes, this board have a ground. Yada 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 yada. So the CPLDs are done. No, the CPLDs, the FPGA, the ICE 40. Controls the RAM. Correct me if I'm right here, wrong here, TurboFire. That is controlled the RAM controller and the clock speed handling, as you can change clock speed by software. Which beer is optimal? Of course, is retard beer. Could also be what does a gay horse eat or something like that. It's also a really good one. And it's a very hazy beer, so hey, yeah, because it's from Gothenburg. I think bad humor, I know. And I gave up on that. We'll get an extra HDMI capture device for the camera instead. This one doesn't work. Anyway, so the clock speed is software controllable as the TF1260. It always starts at 50 MHz. At every reset, it goes back to 50 MHz. That means if you overclock too much, you have to reset and you're back to business. And why run the clock CPU at overclock speed if you don't need it? The CPU speed command is like the ID driver in ROM, so you always have the correct version of the software. Nothing to install except, as usual, the 060 libraries. Everything else is on ROM. Okay, we have now populated with 5 CPLDs. Time to do we have populated with 5 FPGAs. Now we're time to do the CPLDs. Handle the bus transfer. Converge actually between 060 and 030 talk on the bus, because the CPU slot talks 030 to the Amiga. So it's actually what the CPU card does. It translates between those. This, oh yeah, this is, I get so rich of this. That's why I have this perfect camera on the microscope that works perfectly stable. That's why I live in a flat, a rental flat, because I am so fucking rich on this. So those CPLDs, by the way, are now getting really expensive. They are scheduled for end of life. I think last order to factory is in June. I own the flat, yeah. Fucking renting it. Fucking troll. You don't need the Pi to update the firmware, but it will be requiring lots more job work because you have a CPLD and an FPGA, so the two different methods to update the firmware. So the Pi makes it way more simple, and for a cost of a Pi, it's worth it. And it can all be there only all the time. So actually, that's how I'm having it on my AA3000 Plus here. So I can, if I get a new firmware, I can just SSH to it via my Wi-Fi and update. Yeah, well, I did manage to get a quite easy way to do the upgrade of the FPGA in the beginning before we had the Pi solution working, but yeah, the Pi is so much more easy. I will do an image later that I just upload a file and it will do it. Actually done already, so if you put the firmware file on the FAT partition on the Pi, the Pi, when you boot the Pi and it detects that file, it will automatically flash that one. So not a single command needed. Just power on, put the file on the card and power on, and it will boot and do it. No knowledge of IP addresses or anything needed for that one. But there will be other ways if you know how to connect with SSH or maybe even web server later that way. Oh yeah, the X-Rater as a service is also required for this one. That is how we make money. Subscription. So this is just something you do after a while. Just build. This might be the last batch going out of cards. Also, open beta is limited. You need network. That's the thing. or well, you need network to reach it for a simple way, but if you're okay with removing the SD card, then yeah, you can use it more or less. I think you could technically use even a Pi 1. I haven't used it. It was a pain when we started this to get the Pis because of the pandemic. Apparently there was a chip shortage. So it was a mess to get them, but now it's no problem to get Pi 2 or something like that. I think I bought 5 or 6 2 weeks ago. But when you get the card from us, we will not provide the Pi, at least at the moment. Well, you can see doing the CPLDs is not that hard if you have decent leaded solder, good flux, and a knife blade. I think it's called K tip blade tip for the soldering iron. This worked perfect. So, oh, did I do it? No, I missed one. No, I did that one, yeah. The flux I'm using is Amtech, got from Louis Rossmann Repair, now in Texas. He's a Mac repair guy and have a YouTube channel doing Mac repairs, and mostly actually nagging about stuff. He's really good at that one. So great soldering, yeah, it was a good idea, that one. You gave me the JBC something that I never know because it's on the back side, the model number. Because of course they print the model number on the back side, so you can never get the real name of it when people ask. You get used to it. That's it. That's why. The secret is to have more or less no solder on the tip, and just put some on, and then it flows like this, like water. Physics does the rest for you with the flux. Oh. The Congo guy, yeah, he ran, well, apparently blocked me, but he doesn't react to me telling that I might do police action against the threats he did. So, yeah. Recap deniers and flat earthers, well, what's the difference? Nothing. Both stupid. So, soon the hard ones are done. The CPLDs and the FPGAs done, 5 of them in 40 minutes. Decent speed. If I didn't have to screw around with this shitty USB microscope or camera, and could do better. And usually when I do this filming, is that you barely can see on screen. I mean, I can see the whole CPLD in the eyepieces here, and you see just a fraction of it. So if I don't have to think of the camera, I can even work faster and not jabbing around, even if I'm having beer. Yeah, thank you, Clementino, for telling the correct one. It's a really good one. Hot swap is fast. I can show the hot swapping. Change tip here from cold. This is cold, and I can solder now directly. So and no tools required to do the hot swapping. And when I solder, I do swap a lot, depending on what type of soldering I'm doing. Swedish and a different plot. Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. Fäbodjäntan. That's a movie you don't know anything about. Evening, gadget. Okay, CPLDs and FPGAs done. So what's now? We can do some level shifters. We have some level shifters here. The same type that are on 1260 everything, and I think even down here. The content of that t-shirt, yeah. Terrifier and all his trolling t-shirts. He have trolled me, and he will troll others as well. So what I do now is just fasten the ships here, like this, and take the next board. And like that. How is picture quality on the top camera? Is it decent, or I guess I can do much more settings on that one. problem is that this is an action camera, and I heard it can be quite hot. So see if I bought a camera for too many €100 and it's crap. I actually ordered a real camera mount so I can do settings actually, because as it is right now I can't reach the settings because cable ties. Yay! You spend several €100 on the camera and no fucking camera mount. Fantastic. That's an optional thing. Yay! Like that. Okay. Like that. So as I have those in place now, it's way quicker to solder. Always a proper amount of flux. Oh, beer. And you notice that I haven't added any solder in a good while right now, and still you can see that I actually have an issue with too much solder. So surface mount soldering does not consume a lot of solder for sure. So that's the level shifters. Next is a clock buffer. The reason why Rev 4 happened, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, Terrifier. I think it was Rev 4 that we added the clock buffers, because without them the extra 128 megabytes of RAM didn't work. Sometimes, of course, sometimes. That was a real bitch to find. So what this does is to take the incoming clock and split it to 4 different paths. I think you only use 3, right? So that single resistor there should be in and the other ones is out. And by the way, I will not firmware flash those today, because for that one I need to have the capacitors installed, the electric ones here, and I always want to do the ultrasonic cleaning without them installed. All for all, okay. Then I guessed wrong. Okay. This. That's why you used it. I was wondering why you didn't use a resistor network, but then makes sense. If anyone have an idea of a quite good, not too expensive camera for the top one instead of this one that have an actual zoom, then please give me an answer of that one. Okay, the clock buffer is done. Now we do the magic one, ROMs. And they are actually SPI ROMs. They are serial ROMs used actually to program the FPGA, but there are rooms for data as well that we can use to contain the ID driver and the CPU speed command. Actually, on the Rev 1 I didn't have one, so I stole the ROM from my Vampire. So a Vampire card actually helped in 060 card development. And that Vampire card is now in the trash as a donor card. It was fully working. It could be fully working if I just put a ROM back on it, but why should I? It's a Vampire. I don't care. As it's one of those illegal cards. Pad cam on the stereoscope, okay? Slight lag, oh, well, apparently no, this camera is weird because the USB camera from the microscope now kinda works, and it's just like half second of delay. Sometimes it could be 10-15 seconds of delay. So ROMs. Nice too. Sorry if I don't focus on. Here you can see cable. Okay, now we have ROMs in place. I think it's placed for memory. I usually populate the top 128 first, and usually actually when I'm not building like this, I actually test it without any RAM first, and then add 128 and then add extra 256, but now I will do all. Why use a button to set between speeds when you can do it in software? So you can set different speeds, 50, 80, 93, etc. depending on what you want to do and how much heat you want to generate for the moment. Command is in ROM, no need to install anything. Complicated, yes, and you have redesigned compared to the 1260, but I think this will be better. I can tell you that this room is getting hot. Even in Sweden, weird. Especially because I can't turn on my fan because I think it makes too much noise. Like that. So 128 megabytes of RAM installed, and if you're good with that, way too much solder now. See what happens when you just add the little one on the pads and suddenly you get too much solder on the tip. Then you get breaches. interesting. I forgot to add chip here. We get used to this. Just do it. Sorry, out of camera. Like that. 128 megabytes of RAM. Yeah, it's been quite hard to get all those features done, and I think it's a good board now. If you want RGB etc., then I would recommend the Warp 4060 when it arrives. It's a really good card from really good people. I love my 1260 Warp, even if I also have my pink 1260 machine with the TF4060. That's my demo machine, and my Warp machine is my Warp machine. Two different cards for two different reasons or usage space etc. Both are really nice machines, and maybe I should tonight after this enjoy them with some beers and demos. You're not done with Amiga. I know you want to more. 3 numbers, you know. Yeah, it works really fine with the ZZ9000. Yeah, both our cards works perfect. Except maybe with the we haven't really tested with the extra RAM on the board. If I have any more receipts, yeah, I think so. I will do a more batch later, even if I'm not that keen of the CD32 because it's one of the worst Amigas ever. I hate it. There are people that are wrong that thinks different. Listen to Clementino. Amiga's not done with you. But what does a stupid, crazy Croatian guy know? The best. The English guy also thinks it's his best machine. Oh, need a fucking racer to get it working, and those connectors are a bitch, and fuck. So this is 5 boards with 128 megabytes of RAM. So let's do it to the CPU card for the 4000, 3000 that have the most RAM. Oh, this was not really nice. I hope this one works. It was crooked. I just like a special American guy. The yellow one. Anyway, let's do 256 because 128 megabytes of RAM is not enough for an Amiga, right? We need more RAM. Correct me if I'm wrong, TurboFire. I guess that you need the same type of memory on the bottom side as on the top side. We haven't even never tried any other, so now test another compass. Wow, that'd be a surprise if it works. If not, fuck it. Okay. So, we have now using with the C32 is no CIA, so zero port is crippled. And well, clean up the and no PCMCIA. So for me, network is essential on an Amiga. So 0 port is fine, except there's no hardware handshaking. This is more tight because with the pre-assembled capacitors here, I actually once had a short because I drag solder here and touch one of the caps with solder, and then you have a 3.3 volt short, and it does start. And if I would have the diodes of doom, we would have a fire. Yeah, now is apparently a solution. I will test that one. Maybe I can convince me of the CD32 is usable. So soon the SMD stuff is done. So some people watching on a guy soldering board, like watching paint dry, right? Especially when they can't fucking focus on where I'm doing stuff. Well, Terrifier, this is the reason you did it. Finally we're doing them. So on these RAM chips, better to start in the middle and go out, as otherwise you shift them out of place. This is board number 4. Soon we have all SMD stuff done. We can go to the more what other call the easy part, but I think is more work to do the through hole stuff. There are quite a few powered Amigas here, and I'm actually very surprised that the market is somewhat larger than I actually believed. We have a rough estimate of over 1,000 TF4060 board builds, 1,500 or something like that, and that even was a market for that. Yeah. But I noticed that the 060 market on the 1200 is somewhat less. And I think it's due to Pystorm, that are an excellent product. Not my cup of tea, but it's still an excellent product. Yes, Jens will do a CA 1260. So, okay, we have now all SMD stuff done. I will show away my microscope because I'm done with it, and fill up my beer, my retard beer. And now time to do the rest. So I guess CPU sockets is something to put on. And I'll switch over to the almost 1mm wire. And so load up there, as always in the opposite side, and to put some flux all over the connector here. And what I do when I solder, maybe I should try this under the microscope anyway, so you can see this one. So you can see the idea I have. Here are the pins. You can't see so much of it. Yeah, I can do like this. This was much harder to do than I expected. Okay, like that. Okay, good enough. No, it's not your 50-year-old stinky solder. I'm out of it. that one was stinky as fuck, but it worked really good. So this is actually new solder, Chipquick NC2SW.031. It's available on DigiKey with LED on. Anyway, what I do is like this, put my tip on like this, and I push a lot of solder on, so you can see that I'm actually filling 2 lines of solder at once. So instead of SMD soldering, where I more or less shouldn't have any solder at all, now I just pump it on, and that way I can do 2 lines of the sockets at once. This requires the flux as well. Doing like this, I can do a 060 socket in very few minutes. And you don't use extra much solder, because this is through hole, it eats solder. Okay, socket done. I drag, but I don't push hard, so that's why it doesn't damage the traces below. If you push hard, then you will fuck up the board. It's more resting on the pins actually. So I'm barely touching the board. Secret is good solder, leaded solder, and 350 degrees Celsius. And you can see that I have a angle, so I heat up several pins at once. 2 sockets. This station was like 450 euros or something like that. Do it on the correct side. Hope I did yes. I was about to put the CPU on the wrong side. Oh, getting scared because I'm soon out of flux and I haven't got my shipment yet from Louis Rossmann. Well, yes, I did. Ooh, I have 5 more tubes. Oh, now I notice that I've been talking what you've been talking like long time ago. I just noticed in YouTube that I just poured a beer. I think actually I will soon end this due to this extreme delay, and I don't know if this is something worth watching, and I mean it's just a guy soldering. But sure, I need to check my settings because that delay is like 10 minutes. Well, it's a delay just for me because I have a YouTube stream on screen, and I just started to solder the sockets there. So my reality here is different, right? Tell me when you hear this one. Just say no or something like that stupid. Okay, that's not that hard. That was not that bad. So monitoring your own YouTube channel on the same machine as you're streaming does not give you correct presentation, right? you're using the GOTA memory expansion with the TF4060 or? I haven't got one of those, so maybe I should get one of those cards, just test Sorrow 3, etc. I have one of those TF4060 because the guy sent it to me. I'm really happy that I can test Sorrow 3 with. Okay. Ah, you got from Amigas store. Okay, I get one of you things you can get that way from. That's not yours. Terrible player can answer that one, the Kludge asked. I think the answer should be like, hopefully. That's why we say that the pi is for the moment for flashing only, and then we can see if anything else will be possible to do without making any promises. So we haven't promised any features, so no one can get disappointed. Simple. One thing is for sure, you will not get RTG that way. Clementino. Oh, fuck no. Fuck no. Fuck no. 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 I will not do a 5K next year. No. No. You fat ass, you will kill me. And I know a special sound that the special guy is doing right now. Laughing sound, and have some IDs. Revision 2025 run. Okay, I will hate myself for doing this, but if you get at least 2 megabit internet, 2 megabit speeds of Wi-Fi, then I'm on. Fuck, I did it live. 2 megabit speeds at least. So, time for cal connectors. If you have anyone for sale, contact me. I'm interested of buying. Travel 5. You need a pin 1 silk screen change on the cal connectors on this side. Fuck, I just promised on the live stream that I would do 5K run. Fuck, did I do that for? Pin 1 is square. Yeah, in the middle, and I'm blind. You know that. Fucking blind. And by that next, if you do a revision of that seal screen, you'll do a fucking giant big ass one. Looks here, you blind fuck. Or something like that. Okay. Key connectors in place. And for this one I do somewhat different. I do the same as I did on socket, but I do it on the middle row, like this. And then I just do the other line. Like this, and drag solder the ass out of it. And that's 200 pins soldered in. How many? By 32 bits. And then put a big blob of solder on the ends here, like this. Terrifier is one who does the design work, and I just nag him. You just told Eric, oh fuck. No, I know that is, I can see on the Discord is just challenge accepted. Cold soda? Where was the cold soda? There's no fucking cold soda here. It's hot as fuck. But the flux can make it looks weird. So 100 megabit speed, yeah, I should. I asked for 100 gigabit Ethernet for the Amiga and fiber channel, etc. But never get my demands. I mean, how hard could it be? I want to use my Amiga data center speeds. Clementine, you know I will kill you later. So. Croatian fuck. You want me to have a heart attack as well, right? Anyway, when I've done these calculators, I think I will have it for today. It's most because what's left is just some connectors for the Pi and jumpers, etc. Nothing special. This is also either not that special. Guy in an unfocused microscope camera that's are delayed and not even in center. Are they on the RetroPress ones who uses the 060? Well, the Atari Falcon, and there are also 60 cards for the X68000. So yeah, there are. I sold several Rev 6s to Falcon guys. That's why those challenges will kill me. You know that. now I apparently promised live stream. I didn't kill like not that many people, so I pulled this video down after the live stream, and then it never happened. Next one is I don't know. Macs cannot use 060s because their operating system will crash with 060, and doesn't handle any CPU patching like 60 libraries or something like that. The 060, the Mac emulators on the Amiga that are running on 060 works due to the fact that the Amiga 6060 library can handle it. So the Macs doesn't understand that it's running on a CPU with missing instructions. Yeah, Mac stopped at 060, and then when they went PowerPC instead. But I think this cable connector doing this will be the last for the stream, and then I say goodbye, and I do this because doing this without a fume extractor is stupid. And it's been actually, Jesus, 3 hours, no, 2 hours of stream. Doing fireboards. Making me super rich, apparently. It's like one of those CPLDs, like I think 60 euros for one. Yeah, there was 060 for 4000T for 060. I can't remember the name of the 060 card, but it was not the Commodore brand. It was actually different. Okay. Putting this aside, have a beer, and see what people say. Quick back, yeah, quick back. Okay, what's more to be done on this one? We have, but I can't do that now. Small voltage regulators, DC-DC boards. I'm using this, and Alan uses a different one. I put mine on the bottom here, then it's invisible. We have the Pi connector and jumper for Pi power and jumper for hard drive LED. I do not put jumpers for headers for fan. There's also a header for int2 for Amiga 3000 that doesn't have the int2 fix done. There are JTAG for programming CPLD and SPI for program the ROM that programs the FPGA. So you don't need to use a Pi header, but it's very much. Pi connector, yeah, told a few times, but it's for flashing the ROM, the firmware. So I did on my webpage yesterday instruction how to prep the SD card for the Pi. For the moment it's just for flashing. You'll see later. ID connector and JTAG to the CPU. I think no CPU card ever had that one. I think you can get some debug data. We don't really know, but we implemented it on the request. Maybe Terrify know more. And some other headers for debugging, etc. Term for the temperature sensing on the CPU, etc. that are somewhat unreliable. Anyway, and after that, so I will actually tomorrow off stream put them on, program flash firmware on this one, and ultrasonic clean them, put on the 2 caps, and that's it. Yeah, Eric asked for it. Can do some magic stuff. I don't know what magic, but something. No, you cannot program the CPU or something like that. I'm actually looking where I lost my TF4060. Weird. How you do lose 060 card? Is that normal? Nope. Apparently gone. Need to build one more. Anyway, this was that for the moment. I think I'm gonna wrap this up and enjoy the evening with some beers instead of this one that got lukewarm. And no, it's not on the 4000T. Yeah, weird. It's somewhere in this room, and this room is messy, okay? Skål. Yeah, skål. And, well, I will say thank you, and maybe I will do some streams doing stuff if people are interested in weird stuff like that. This was most to test my camera. I will see if I can do like this and have this camera like... Nope, it doesn't work. Well, wonderful. Well, the big zoom camera works, but yeah. Anyway, skål for fun, and thank you all, and maybe see you next time or something like that. I will do something. I'm not caring that much about YouTube, but some fun anyway. Thank you, and goodbye.